I've had love handles since I was 4.
What?
Boom, 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 yeah, get your kit off.
Oh great, we're back on the vaginas.
It's bendy.
I actually took it to go away.
I welcome all penises here. Don't shag cows.
Clitoris.
Please never do that in my house. Hello and welcome to Swipe, Match, Marry, the modern relationship and dating podcast. I'm James.
I'm Marny.
And I'm Steve.
Join us as we explore love, life and dating in London.
Do we have to adapt to find love?
How do you find and define your sexuality?
Has the internet ruined dating?
We're going to be discussing all of this and more as we attempt to unlock the codes of modern dating culture.
Please be aware that this podcast contains adult content, sexual themes and strong language, which is the only reason why I'm here. Now let's get into the show. Hi everybody, and welcome to Swipe, Match, Marry.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm getting good at that now, aren't I?
You are, you're getting very
good. It's like I don't know who's here and I'm in the room with you both. It's magic. Today is our festive edition of Swipe, Match, Marry.
Happy Christmas.
Merry
Can
Christmas,
I just say
everyone.
Merry Christmas, guys?
Merry Christmas.
I love you all.
I love you too.
Oh,
Merry
how
Christmas.
lovely.
I'm feeling quite festive.
Are you?
Yeah. I don't
Do you
know,
like
I just
Christmas?
Not really, but I'm just like smiley about it.
Oh, do you not?
That's
Because I
good.
don't either, and I struggle to find anyone that doesn't.
It comes and goes in waves,
Right.
I have to say. But this year I feel good about it.
Okay,
That's good. So we're going to talk about office parties, which is something none of us have probably ever been to, with us all working in the kind of vocational thing.
No,
Yeah,
but we
but
do have our
we have
Christmas
our work
parties.
We've got Christmas, and we're going to talk about work relationships and whether it is a good idea to boff someone at the Christmas party and hope no one finds
The
out.
word of boff is interesting to
Well,
me.
you know what I mean.
Do you mean
Boff.
sex?
Sexing, banging, fucking, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, Lord.
You're
We're
just
going to... One thing that I'm really interested in talking about is the walk of shame, but we'll get on to
yes.
that.
But always with Christmas, don't you just find that... I mean, I feel like it started months ago. Like, it's just... I know this is so boring, and everyone talks about how Christmas starts early and early because it's always in the shops, and you can buy an advent calendar in August when it's still sunny, and it's still sunny in, October.
Yeah.
The Christmas decorations are up on Oxford Street at the start of October.
I don't enjoy that.
It is weird. I always go by my birthday. My birthday is September.
Right.
Mid-September. September 16th, if people want to know. And I always go by how many weeks after my birthday I start seeing things. And I think it was around about 2 weeks. I went to the big Sainsbury's, that's like 24 hours near where I live, 2 weeks after my birthday, and there was Christmas stuff down.
Shit.
But that's
Too soon.
in honesty, that's the time to buy. I mean, Terry's chocolate oranges is £1.
I know, but they're nice all year.
I know, but
I don't like Terry's chocolate orange, actually.
They mean a
Sorry.
lot to me. It was the one thing that I got every single year from my grandma, and God bless her, she's not with me anymore.
Aww.
So I've kind of taken on the role of giving out Terry's chocolate oranges to the family.
That's nice. They're not Terry's, they're mine. Dawn French.
Lols.
I find Christmas so, exhausting, especially in London, where you're literally got fairy lights wherever you bloody look. And I find that I don't enjoy that, and I don't enjoy the pressure. To me, Christmas should start on Christmas Eve, and it should finish on Boxing Day. But I know I'm quite alone in that.
But
I feel like that.
Oh, good.
It's a
I'm
weird
not.
thing as well, because you feel... I almost feel it with New Year's Eve, if like, oh my God, I've got to celebrate it, I've got to have an amazing time. But actually, when you try and plan so much to try and make it fun, excuse you, Marny.
Sorry everyone. I've got a Christmas cold.
She's got the Christmas whooping cough.
When you try and plan fun, you never end up having it. It's always the spontaneous ones that turn out to be amazing.
I met my fiance on New Year's Eve.
Did you?
So was the petrol journey on New Year's
4
Eve?
years ago, yeah, on New Year's Eve. And we weren't even doing anything that night. We met up in the daytime before I went off to a party.
Oh my God, the daytime.
The
Crazy
daytime.
kids.
Oh.
How very
Never
avant
looked back.
garde.
But I find Christmas exhausting. I find the presents exhausting. I think that everyone in London, or not everyone, of course not everybody, but I think that everyone's sort of got what they want and they don't really need presents. I make presents these days, and I'm quite adamant that this is
Maybe
what I do.
that.
Don't oh Christ.
What we're gonna get?
Excuse me, last year I
We're gonna
copied
get
you
a Chris
completely.
Tingle thing.
No, not a Chris Dingle. Last year I copied you, Marny. I made Christmas pudding vodka for my family.
Oh yeah, that is a winner actually.
It's a
Everyone out
winner.
there, I
And
would
now,
say.
the only stress this year I found is finding something else to make, because I sort of
Make
half
Werther's
think they've
original.
still
I
got
remember-
it. Werther's original vodka.
That's really easy as well. Everyone out there.
I remember
Great.
being a very, very poor student, and I made mulled wine for the family.
That's
That's
lovely.
sweet.
And well, it is sweet. You think it's nice and sweet, and then 4 years later, my family moved house, and we've got a big like grandfather clock in our living room,
Yeah.
and that got moved to the new house. And as it was being moved, that's where my mum and dad's secret stash of alcohol was.
Oh.
I looked in the bottom of it, and there was my bottle of mulled wine.
Oh, and they
not
never
even
drank
touched. They never
it.
drank it.
Oh, bless.
And I've never spoken to them since.
You've just owned them now.
What are you doing for Christmas this year?
Well, this Christmas, the Christmas run-up period has taken me to Ireland with work,
Right.
and I've made the special decision because I have a few days off around Christmas. I've made the decision that I'm going to go home and I'm going
Okay.
to spend it with the family.
That's nice.
So I rang my mum up and I said I was going to come home. She nearly cried. I was like, wow, lovely.
Do you not
nice.
normally go home for Christmas?
Well, it depends where I am. Like the year
Oh.
before, I couldn't make it because I was up in Glasgow, and so I booked my Ryanair flights from Dublin to Leeds Bradford return, and guess how much that has cost me? Guess how much that has cost me to get home for Christmas? And to get back.
£102.
£102. What's your guess?
Well, 43.
43.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean 43?
Go on, how
I'm
much?
guessing.
17.
£17.
That's
17.
1-7, ladies and gentlemen, at home.
Return from Dublin to Leeds
That's
Bradford and back again.
incredible.
I mean,
You may as well all bloody go.
Are you
haven't
holding on to the wing?
I genuinely feel like I'm going to turn up and I'm in the toilet.
Yeah.
Like, that's my seat.
That's very good.
They're
Well, that's
putting you in
worth
the
it, isn't
hold,
it?
you've got
Or
to pack
it's
yourself
or
in your
all of a
suitcase.
sudden it's these new airlines with Ryanair where they want you to stand up.
Might just be a catapult.
That's not a thing, right?
No.
It used to be a thing. They wanted people to stand up on Ryanair flights.
Marnie, what are you doing for
God's
Christmas?
sake.
Do you
Well, actually, I am doing the same job as Steve, so I will also be in Ireland, and I have
Right.
also made the decision to go home. I'm
Okay.
flying back to Liverpool.
And how much is that costing you?
43 quid. I said 43
43 quid!
I still thought that 43 was a bargain.
I think that's exceptional.
It's brilliant and
It's really good.
I love that this has turned into the Bargain Flight podcast.
Yeah, it
Well,
has, yeah.
You've got a northern.
Let's get
ears.
back on topic. So basically, Christmas seems to be one of those times where people's singleness is either thrown in their face or people feel themselves really single because it's all about going to drinks parties, it's all about going to the office party. New Year is another big thing, like it's that you've got to kiss someone on New Year and all that shite. And I think I've touched on this in a previous podcast where I said part of the reason that I joined online dating 1 January is because I'd been to a lot of Christmas parties as a single person and just felt really single and felt like, oh God, I'm not going to meet anyone at a party or anything. So, yeah, I feel like Christmas is quite an insecure time for a lot of people, and perhaps also people in relationships as well.
I guess it's like typically a family time, and so it puts a bit of the spotlight on someone that, and I don't mean family as in like your relatives. I mean sort of who you're with, who you're going to see at Christmas. And I
Yeah.
guess if you're single, if you're on your own, then it might highlight that and maybe give it more emphasis than perhaps it does the rest of the year.
Yeah, I've had a couple of moments where there's been a couple of years where I get it more on New Year than I do on Christmas.
I think New Year's a bigger
And
thing,
I
yeah.
think it's like who you're going to kiss on New Year type of idea.
Everyone.
But everyone, I'm just going to shove my tongue down everybody's
Oh,
throat.
how
Dog in
graphic.
a bathtub with anyone you can find.
If you don't know what dog in the bathtub is, listen to the autumnal special and row up.
But there have been a couple of... I've made a couple of New Year's resolutions a couple of times of going, I will not be alone for Christmas next year.
Oh,
But
you're like Tiny Tim.
I'm Tiny Tim. God bless us, everyone.
That's terrifying.
But I feel fine. I feel great. I feel like I just need to. I'd rather send the love to the friends and family that I've had around me for years than just this new person who happens to appear maybe just before Christmas.
Yeah, no, of
Right,
course.
definitely.
Of course.
It's about sending love to the people around you. That's what matters, and the people that you have in your life that are there to support you day in and day out. And if it just so happens that you don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend. That doesn't matter for me.
We did say, didn't we, a while ago that we need to find a new term for being single. We need to like rebrand being
And
single.
having some me time.
That makes you
Is that
sound like a
worse?
psychopath.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry,
But-
happy to help.
I feel there's two different types of single. There's people who are single who crave a relationship, who are walking around streets and see people holding hands and see people kissing and see people hugging, and you do feel jealous and you do feel sad for yourself. And believe me, I've felt that. I really have. But then there's another single, which is I'm completely and utterly happy.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like,
and also like
but you feel-
stress free a little bit as well.
yeah, and you see these things and you're kind of like, you're not craving it, but you're going, that's really nice that you have that.
Absolutely.
And
I
it's-
spent a lot of time when I was single, like pretty much all the time that I was single, just feeling fairly relieved actually, because a lot of the time being in a relationship is a bit of a compromise, and I just sort of did what I wanted when I wanted. I didn't have to check with anyone, I didn't have to ask, I didn't have to sort of include someone in something. I could just be really selfish.
That's funny that you're feeling that now, because we're spending Christmas with my mum this year, and for the first time in a long time, because she's had such an amazing journey. She had me at a very young age. She got married quite soon after to not my biological father. She was with my stepfather for 20-something years. That ended in quite a long and traumatic divorce. She went through a series of sort of short relationships after that. Short, or long, between 6 months and a year. She ended up moving to Barbados with a guy for 2 years who was awful to her. And she is now back. She's bought a house that she's doing up that we're going to see for the first time this Christmas, and she is doing incredibly well. She's got a new job. She does incredible scenic art, and she's having a lovely time. And she's, for the first time, I think, in her life, she is finally coming around to that way of thinking, because she went straight from having me as a 19-year-old, going to a marriage for 20 years and then having a series of relationships, and now she's single at 50 and just having...
That's exciting.
It's so exciting, and I'm
cool.
absolutely beyond proud of her, and she's having a great time, and she's putting herself first for the first time ever, and I think that people nowadays, our generation, are better at that, and I think that when you are feeling sad about not being in a relationship or whatever, and you have these waves of, oh, I'm alone or whatever, and then you get these bits where you're sort of, oh, well, actually, it's kind of a relief. This is great. I can be my own person. People are more comfortable with doing that now. I think for my mum's generation, I feel that she sort of felt that her place was with someone else, and now she actually goes, well, no, I can do what I want, and I don't want anybody else. Absolutely not.
It's quite nice that you just take your own journey as your own, and if you want to crave a relationship, then crave a relationship, but you should almost, I feel, if there's any advice I could give, is take a step back and appreciate what you've got rather than what you need.
Well, I think living for yourself is probably more important than living for somebody else.
Exactly.
There's this thing that I found out the other day. Did you know that in Japan the population is going down?
Oh yeah, I read that
Yeah.
actually recently.
And
it's a
now-
crisis, isn't it?
It's a bit of a crisis because they still have this cultural thing where if a woman is with a man, then her role is to settle down and look after the family. However, you get a lot of incredible Japanese women, like you do in a lot of cultures, that have got their own careers, their own money, their own everything, their own lifestyle, their own choices, and they're enjoying that. And they know, because their culture still almost dictates that when they get married and have children, they have to give up that side of themselves to look after the family. They're going, well, I don't want that. And they're getting to an age where they're sort of 40, 50, and they're like, oh, I might want a family. And it might be too late for them, or they just don't want it. So they're now having a thing where they're got a vast population of the women that are just more concentrated on careers. And I kind of say good for them.
I mean,
I understand that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I believe that the government's investing shitloads of money in like people dating
Shitloads,
for free.
that is a lot.
Shitloads, yeah, a nondescript amount of money. But apparently the government is actually actively encouraging people to date and get married because the
Wow.
population's kind of in crisis.
But surely they have to have some kind of cultural shift to sort of say, well,
Of
you can still
course,
work and be married and have children because everyone over here does it.
We hope you're enjoying the chat so far. If you want to get in touch with us or share your dating stories, you can follow us on Twitter @SwipeMatchMarry. Now let's get back to the podcast.
Japan culture, I mean, I thought we were talking about office parties.
Yeah, we need to talk about office pies.
Yeah, well, office parties or just sort of work parties, the annual Christmas do, which more and more are happening in January, I believe.
Why?
Yeah, because it's cheaper.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, anywhere to cut a corner. No,
Well,
really.
yeah, quite. Have you ever snogged anyone at an office party?
No, but I have gone round once with, you know, those headbands on with like mistletoe on a string,
Yes.
just to try and get the odd
Did it work?
erection everywhere. I said that for your face, James.
That's
So
quite
you give me that
endearing.
face.
That's quite sweet.
I was just
feel
kind of
you
like, can I have a kiss?
you can
And
get
then
away
I'd
with
smack them
that.
in the head with the mistletoe.
I'd kiss you with mistletoe.
I'd kiss you.
It's kind of goofy. It's kind of sweet and endearing. I quite like that. That's
It was
nice.
just a
Where
joke.
did that come from, kissing under the mistletoe?
Oh, I don't know actually.
If you know, tweet us @SwipeMatchMarry because I've got no idea.
There's a little thing that we have called, or I've heard about. I've never done it. Honestly, I've never done it. I've slept with one person whilst I've been on a job, and then I was in a relationship with them for 3.5 years.
Right.
But there's something called a free pass,
Right. Elaborate.
where you basically who you're working with, and because the nature of our industry, you mix around who you work with yearly.
Yeah.
You have a free pass where you basically can have sex with one person or get off with one person and keep it a secret, and that's your free pass.
Oh.
What, when you're in a relationship?
No,
Oh,
good
right.
God, no.
You just
no.
don't tell
Oh,
other
just at
people.
work.
It's
You
just
just
like
don't.
a
You just don't
fling.
tell. It's that case of you wake up the next morning, you're just kind of like, oh God, no one at work needs to know this.
Yeah, I've been there.
Oh gosh,
And
yeah.
that's your free pass.
Marny, tell us your story.
Which one?
Your
Oh,
free pass.
okay. So
if
you-
you've had many, you get a free pass on every job.
Okay, so I went through a period where I probably did have a free pass on pretty much every single job, but I've managed to keep most of that in a secret. So a lot of the people that I've been with, not a lot of people know about it
Until now.
until now. I'd slept with one person on a job, and he started it, and he was really like, he pursued me, and then when it finished, he just like didn't speak to me ever again, and then
Weirdo.
we went quite a long time without speaking to each other, and I had my nose put out of joint a little bit, to be honest with you, and it is that thing, isn't it, about casual sex, is that you it's like it's your head and heart thing, isn't it? Like your head knows what's going on, but your heart reacts differently. So when he did stop speaking to me, I was really, I don't know if I was upset. I was just a bit like, oh my God, it's like a fucking cliche, isn't it? Like you're just not even gonna bother getting in touch with me. And then he saw me again at another press night about 3 months later, and oh my God, James is writing names of people on
I don't know
post-it
who these
notes.
people are.
I'm trying to guess who this is. This is somebody from 2010. So this is somebody that you aren't even going to know. And this guy came up to me at a press night and was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in absolutely ages. And basically I taught him a new one. And I was like,
you?
the last fucking time you saw me, mate, we were shagging each other and you haven't spoken to me for 6 weeks. So you can fuck off. No.
That's the third and final name, James. You get no more guesses.
Yeah, James, you don't get any more guesses. And also, James has distracted me by writing names on post-it notes.
Sorry.
And the last one was a woman.
And the last one was
Well,
a
you
lady.
never
And
know.
actually a really good friend of both of us. So, no, it wasn't that person. But, yeah, I've definitely had liaisons with people that I thought were fine and it was just a thing. And then I've had liaisons with people that then became a problem, for sure.
it's that
I
thing of-
wouldn't advocate sleeping with people that you work with, but sometimes there's just no other choice.
I
Slim
think
pickings out there.
there's a couple of things where you know somebody in your workplace likes you, and I think if you know that and then you pursue that just as and then you can use the excuse of, oh, it was just a Christmas party, nothing. Like, I think that's a little bit cheap and just very, very people using you.
Yeah.
I guess that people just think, well, they just go, oh, I don't care. It's the end of the year. Everyone's a bit drunk with work, and I guess you don't. with a lot of industries, going out and getting drunk with the people you work with is probably not a normal thing.
Probably not, especially I mean, alcohol is very related to the industry that we work in. We work late nights, we finish work at 10:30. The obvious thing to do is go for a drink. So we do drink with each other quite a lot. Perhaps maybe I've never worked a kind of normal, for want of a better word, job where it's 9 to 5. I've never been to an office party. So yeah, I definitely think alcohol plays a really big part in people's reactions to things and situations.
But then on the other hand, if you are having a casual flirt with somebody in the workplace, maybe the Christmas office party is where you guys
try it out.
Yeah. And that's where it almost gets a little bit like, exciting, and everyone loves the gossip of what's happened at a Christmas
party. Oh my God,
party.
everyone loves the gossip.
Everybody loves the
gossip. Well, it might be the first time in a year for someone that works, sort of probably a more normal job. Might be the first time of year they might get that sort of informal opportunity to flirt with someone they've always fancied.
And if you've got a little flirt in the office, but then all of a sudden, but you never see them for a drink because they go home.
Yeah.
In an office party is the time that you actually get to be social with that person and not be in the environment that you're.
And also, you're all dressed up, aren't you? You've got your glad rags on. You probably look super glamorous.
But then you look super glamorous. But then when that does happen, and when you do meet somebody, and then the next morning you wake up, and they've got to walk home in what they wore the night before.
Yeah.
So they look super glamorous at night, and then in the morning they've got the high heels on, they've got the mini black skirts, and I love this. It's almost like a little sport over the month of December, is finding people on the walk of shame.
Absolutely. I did see a girl, and I'm sure she had vomit in her hair, walking with some awful leopard print dress, and she was holding her heels and walking barefoot through Covent Garden.
That's my favourite. You've just given up. You don't even care. You don't care. So
no, she definitely didn't care.
Shoes on.
She might have still been drunk, actually.
Brilliant. Have either of you done a walk of shame?
Absolutely.
I think it's different for guys. I think boys can get away with it a bit more than girls.
I wasn't wearing a dress.
I have done it. I have done a walk of shame, but it's not so much the case of you can tell I was out the night before. It was a case of I went on a date once and I wasn't expecting it, and
expecting the date or expecting to stay over.
Expecting to stay over,
right?
And it wasn't a first date, but
because you don't do one night stands, do you?
And it was the second time we went on a date, and I was just expecting to go home. And I had to go straight to work the next day.
Ooh, you feel a bit dirty, don't you?
You just feel a little bit dirty, and I had to get up and I had to get out because I was there early. So I had a shower at work, but it's when your workmates just notice you in the clothes that you had the day before.
Where have you been?
Oh.
Exactly. And then you just...
I once bought a whole entire outfit so that I didn't... Yeah.
My main problem is underwear.
Just buy underwear.
Your mate, what, generally, or just in this specific?
Because you're just wearing it the second day and you're just kind of like,
Never.
But, what if you've got nothing else to wear?
Commando.
What do I do? No, I hardly wear a belt, and me pants fall down every now and again, so I don't want to expose that in Waterloo Station.
No, that's
well, I'm sure there's somewhere in Waterloo Station you can buy pants. In fact, there's a Marks and Spencer's you can buy pants.
No, there's food only there.
That's a lie.
This is really interesting for our listeners talking about Marks and
Spencer's. I think it is. I think this is useful information for our listeners that in Waterloo Station, at the very end, opposite platforms 1 and 2, there is a Marks and Spencer's, and upstairs they sell clothes. So you can get pants. And in Victoria Station, loads of places. Believe me, I've bought tights, pants, a dress, everything. Because I once went out... Oh, God, I don't know how I'm going to explain this without people trying to cotton on about who this person might have been. But I had a walk of shame and had to go into work and went to a Christmas meal and had to get a whole new outfit for the Christmas meal.
James has popped up like a meerkat trying to
I'm really trying to work.
James and I did used to work together, so he's trying to figure out if it's someone that we work together with, but it wasn't.
Have you ever done a walk of shame, James?
Yes.
Do tell.
Oh, yes.
James is hugely distracted because he's trying to write down a name who this person is. I'm not telling you. No!
Let me have a read.
No. Walk of shame. Yeah, I mean, sure, but I imagine Because, women, tend to get a bit more dolled up. Maybe a bit more of an outfit.
It's much
Yeah.
Whereas guys,
easier
like,
for
especially me,
guys.
because I can't bear dressing smart. So if I go out and if I, went with my like single days, if I stayed around someone's house, I've definitely gone to work the next day.
And it's not as if you've got your fucking mascara smeared all over your face.
And no
you're
one
carrying
cares
your
what I
heels
wear.
in.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
and
really.
if you wear smart casual on a day that you don't, then you think that's you wearing smart. Then when you're walking around the next day, people just think, oh, he's a smart casual kind of guy.
Yeah, you don't look like you're hanging out with your arse.
No. Well, God, I hope not.
I once, on a Sunday morning, sat in Pret on St Martin's Square at 8:30 texting my friend because I'd stayed over at a drummer's house who was a drummer in a famous band.
Did he drum you off? In a famous band?
Yeah. He's got his pen out again. You're not going to
Gonna write
be able to
it
guess
down.
who it is.
Such a game.
But how famous?
Like weirdly famous.
Like, weirdly, like, very
Like
famous.
quite famous.
Was he old? Can we play yes or no?
You can if you want. I think that's going to be really boring for people.
Coldplay.
No.
No, like, is he over 40?
No. But the band's really old. This is going to be really boring.
Well, then just tell us.
I'll just tell you, it's the drummer out of Echo and the Bunnymen.
Don't
Echo
even,
and the what?
don't even know them.
Everyone knows who Echo and the Bunnymen
Are they related to Catfish and the Bottlemen?
No, that's a new
Oh.
band.
So Echo and the what?
Bunnymen.
They must be. I mean, really. I mean,
They're old. They're really old. But the drummer was only 34 and quite hairy. Anyway,
Okay.
Well, there you
I
are.
hope he's not
Well,
listening
then
to this
that's
randomly.
the
Can you imagine
walk.
if he...
He's not.
If you
Actually,
are, get in touch at Swipe Match Marry. We'd love to hear from you.
I've got a question from a listener. Listener's female. She's called Dave.
Hi, Dave.
And
Hi,
the
Dave.
question is, I mean, this has literally got nothing to do with anything, but it's genius. Would you rather walk in on your partner watching porn with you in the house, or watch porn yourself and see your partner in it?
The first one.
That's what I said.
I mean, that's not a question. The first one. Imagine if you're just watching
Can you
porn
imagine?
and they just crop up.
Can you imagine it? That would be horrifying, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be, oh my days, James. Can you imagine?
No,
But
I cannot.
It depends how you.
How you feel about porn?
Yeah, I mean, if
I've
I have
never
seen on
watched
first
porn.
I have seen on a first dates episode where he said that I've done porn.
Yeah.
And then the woman was like, "No, I can't have anything to do."
I
with it."
remember seeing that. Actually, she couldn't get on board with it, could
But
she?
then there are couples that watch porn together.
Yes, of course, and it's spicy for some people. I've never watched porn.
You've
Never?
ever watched porn.
Never. Never ever, honestly. Mr.
you
Finsbury
just-
Park doesn't believe me either.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm like,
Is
no.
it just Heat Torso of the Week for you?
That'll do it.
Oh.
If Mr. Finsbury Park, if you walked in on him watching porn, what would you do?
I think I'd be fine with that. Like, I totally understand that it's quite a normal thing these days.
But then the thing is, there's a difference between somebody watching porn like it's an episode of Hollyoaks or EastEnders, but it's the activity that goes along with porn
Wanking.
that I think people might get offended
Masturbation.
Yeah.
I love that this is
mean-
the Christmas episode and we're talking about porn and masturbation.
by. But it's fine because
There's a lot of
something we
lonely
need to
people out
talk.
there. There's probably some
because,
festive porn out there.
You have to be lonely to play with
I
yourself.
mean, wouldn't you feel disheartened at all?
Are you basically saying that people can't watch porn without wanking?
Well, that's the point,
What's-
isn't it?
That's the point.
You don't
Why
watch it
would
for the
you
story.
You don't watch it, yeah.
Oh.
Or to listen to the music.
So you just watch porn to masturbate?
yeah.
It serves its purpose.
Oh, I never really thought about that.
And they're really clever now
Have
because
you just been born?
it's really clever now on certain porn videos because it cuts it into chapters or like little bookmark things, so
Gosh, we've got a resident expert
you can
here.
go to a certain single guy here, got to get his
There
kicks
you
somewhere,
go.
where it tells you what activity they're doing.
Oh, golly.
In
you got
like
different
in
activities?
like a 24-minute video, rather than like cutting when you try and cut to the best bit.
I love him so specific. 24-minute
Yeah,
video.
it's only 24 minutes. You can only wank for 24 minutes.
He's
That's-
thinking
Well,
one
it's not.
specifically.
I get it done and dusted. I'm very efficient. And
Oh, good lord.
Steve, if you were offered £50,000 to be in a porn film, would you do it?
it's a hard question. I think I might, but
Would
there'd
you?
have to be some kind of
Would you do it if you had a bag over your head?
no. There'd have to be some speculation. I mean, my varicose vein would have to be digitally removed
Right.
in post-production.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And I would need a body double.
For
You
what?
would need a body double. What the fuck are you talking
Well, I
about? You
don't-
need a body double.
Well, I don't want my
Are
love
you-
handles all over Pornhub. Like,
Then you're not doing porn. So you're basically saying you're happy for your face to be superimposed on somebody else's
Yeah.
body. Then they won't get you to do it, idiot. They'll just get that person to do it. You don't get a body double for porn. You're not Bruce Willis.
okay.
Yeah, we're not making like
No
a
offence.
Tom Cruise, like make yourself taller type of thing. It's
Well,
like a...
I'd
Oh,
like
Marny,
50
just put her
grand.
arm around me.
Sorry.
But 50 grand, £50,000. Do you know what you could do with that?
Oh, it doesn't go that far. I can't even buy a fucking house for that.
No, but you've already got a house. What you'd sort you
Marny,
out.
would you do porn for money? Well, you still think it's about like Hollyoaks?
I think I'd be absolutely terrible at it. I mean, I'm a fairly awkward
I-
person as it is. I'd just laugh my way through it. I'd be awful.
That's true.
And I'm really pasty. No one wants to see that.
Pasty porn. It could be a new niche.
Pasty porn.
There is, I did remember reading an article, and I can't remember what the website's called, but the website is basically for people that are in loving relationships to upload videos of themselves having sex.
Oh, yeah?
And it's kind of like
That's the thing.
realistic porn, so that people aren't like watching these kind of like very airbrushed, over the top.
With porn as well, there's kind of almost like a side thing that some people kind of enjoy, which is almost like live action rooms, so you see it happening at the same time.
Oh, well, like Cam 4. There's like live porn.
yeah,
channels,
there's like
isn't
live.
there?
Well, there's the
Oh my
live
God, what's
channels
like you know it's happening
where
somewhere.
you know that this is happening exactly here now.
Shit.
And I mean, you can see it on when you accidentally, when you're on BBC One on Sky and you accidentally press the up button and it takes you to all the porn channels.
Oh, I see on Virgin it goes to radio if you do that,
Yeah.
so it's fine, safe.
Sick.
Gosh.
But there's all the live webcams and stuff like that you
I
can
honestly
watch.
don't
and
know. I'm
Well, Steve's
know.
an expert.
Yeah, I feel like...
We say that I'm an expert. I just know about it.
Right.
I think you're just probably like any other
I've
man.
I've never like paid for someone to take a knickers off in the Ukraine. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
so basically this is a live confession that Steve has never had a prostitute.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said never.
I've never paid for sex at all.
So we've started talking about Christmas putting vodka as presents, and we've ended up talking about paying for Ukrainian people
Turn
on...
the clothes
Well, we
on.
know
Online.
we should cancel the prostitutes as Christmas present. then.
Oh, gosh. What are we going to get you now?
I don't know.
Just porn, we're just getting porn.
Well, Werther's original vodka.
So before we finish this wonderful world of Christmas Swipe Match Marry episode, I am very interested to see what your New Year's resolutions would be,
Oh, yes.
and then I think we can observe them during the next season of Swipe Match Marry to see if we
See how they're going.
to see how they're going.
Go on, what's
Go on,
yours?
Marny.
I don't make them.
You don't make them?
No, I don't make them. I'm really sorry.
Well, if you did
You know
make
what?
them,
A couple of years ago, I made a New Year's resolution to send a birthday card to all of my extended family, like my aunties and my uncles and my cousins and their millions of children that they have all of the time. And I did really, really well. And then I got to May and I did a cash change and it all went to shit. So since then, I haven't really done one.
That's
and I
fine.
failed at that one as well.
Well, that's the
Terrible.
problem with New Year's resolution. You're setting
You're
yourself
just
up
setting
to
yourself up
fail
for
a
fall,
bit.
aren't you?
I don't do them either, but next year's an interesting time for me, I think, work-wise. So I'm just going to try and be very focused. But it's not a resolution.
Oh,
but
you
we
got to
can-
sort out your
No,
wedding
but
as
it's-
well.
Oh, and sorting out the wedding, yeah. What about you, Steve?
I think mine is just to have more fun.
Have
More fun than you're already having.
Have
Next year
more
you're
fun.
going to be dirty 30 as well, so...
Do you know what? I have a problem at the minute because being 29, it's slightly upsetting me.
I didn't like being 29.
One because
I did.
I'm
I
not.
don't like
I'm,
odd numbers.
I'm not OCD, but yeah, I don't like odd numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not OCD, but I don't like odd numbers.
Yeah,
I like 29 because I wasn't 30.
but it's not an odd number;
Oh.
it's a prime number.
Right.
Interesting.
Do you know it? Whereas, so I think 30 is just rounded, and it feels like a fresh start to me. 30.
Does it?
Yeah, it
That's
feels like
interesting.
people are going to take me more seriously.
That's
and
exactly
not-
how I felt.
And not just a northern bumbling fool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 30.
Good.
And I think next year is going to be a good year. I don't know what it's entailing, but I think it's
Although
gonna be a nice
it's
year.
difficult, isn't it? Because next year, 2017, is an odd year.
Oh, that makes
It's
me
a
feel
prime year.
sick.
It's a prime number as well.
Is it?
2017 is a prime number.
Yeah.
Are you like some weird
Are you a
Rayman?
maths
Do you know all the
genius?
prime numbers?
What?
Do you know all the prime numbers?
Well, yeah, nothing can go into 17.
I wonder. Yeah, but 2017, babe. There's a whole.
Yeah, no.
2000. No.
No, it's
Okay.
definitely a prime number.
Carol Vorderman. There we are.
So,
Well, Merry
yeah.
Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
We shall see you for Series 2 at some point next year. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook at Swipe Match Marry, and I'm sure you'll find out.
And I just want to say a big thank you to all of the friends and family that have listened and tweeted, and I've had lots of personal text messages and WhatsApp saying how much they loved the show, so thank you for listening.
Absolutely, and all the people that we don't know that listen to the podcast, which is lovely, in all parts of the world, so thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, and can we, if you have some kind of weird, Christmas experience in the dating world or the Christmas party, or a scandal happens at yours, let us know.
Oh yeah, we
because
want to know everyone's office
we
gossip.
want a New Year's roundup of shit that's gone down.
Ooh, yes please. Well, Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Swipe Match Marry. Please remember to subscribe using the podcast app so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
If you're braving the world of dating, or even if your dating days are behind you, we'd love to hear from you on Twitter. Give us a shout at Swipe Match Marry.
And as always, we hope that next swipe leads to a match and maybe even a lifetime of happiness.